I always say, when people ask about Malbon, I always say it's not technology, it's not product, it's a mindset. It's truly how do you feel when you show up? How do you feel when you're with your friends? How do you feel when you want to play golf? And if you're dressing the way you don't want to dress, you don't feel right. So, I think the mindset incorporates, I think what Stephen's all about, which is music and art and culture and bringing that to the course. It's not necessarily saying we want to make the craziest clothes. It's like, it's truly like, it's a cultural mindset.
Right.
You can like rap music and still like golf. You can, be a painter and still dress a little outside the norm and not, wear khakis and a belt and a pink shirt,
You can show the tee box tatted all the way up to your neck.
Listen, I've always worn baggy clothes, and I have pictures of me playing with like Ken Griffey and Sheffield back in the day where I had shorts down to my, so for me, looking at Jason, he just doesn't look abnormal to me. It looks very normal to what I'm used to in my cultural life and who 100%. I spend time with,
Hello, everybody. Per usual, we would like to give a big, warm welcome to one of our favorite sponsors on earth, Topgolf, for bringing us peach ice cream in Augusta, Georgia. Thank you for all you do.
Part 3 podcast.
Let's fucking go.
Stephen Malbon.
Oh my goodness.
Let's get right into it.
Put him down for the birdie, dog.
Just a bit outside.
Gang is back together.
Somebody give me your fucking putter. Hoard the putter. I had to make it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the world famous Part 3 podcast. I am one of your hosts, J.R. Smith. My boy, Stephen Malbon, is out doing a rain check, making sure all of his merchandise is where it should be. So we got a special guest today, my boy, Ryan Evert from Malbon Golf, but not only from Malbon Golf, from Jersey. Let's get into it. Let's go. Right, what's up, man?
How are you, bro? Good,
man, I'm good. Happy to have you. First of all, we started off real smooth, real quick. How did you play today? You played not Augusta National, but Augusta Country Club today.
Augusta Country Club. I played okay. Shot an 80.
Okay.
Had 3 birdies, which was nice.
Nice.
So yeah, had some good holes.
Did you win money today?
I did win money.
That's
18th hole, won $100.
Hey, there we go.
Had a couple 3-putts. I had like 6 3-putts today, so.
Really?
The greens were hard out there. Windy.
It was windy.
The greens are hard there. Lots of undulation. But it's a super fun play. Yeah, they were fast. They were fast. It was just hard, the wind But super fun place. I don't know if you've been there before, but
I haven't.
Yeah, the vibes are good there.
Yeah.
Right next to Augusta National, so it's not it, but it's good.
It's good enough.
Yeah.
It's good enough and it's close enough. So I'm gonna take it all the way back because I have a lot of pride of where I come from, and I know a lot of Jersey people do.
Yeah.
And we are very, very, very close, almost too close, to where our high schools were rivals in football. Toms River South and Lakewood High School.
Yeah.
Which you said y'all used to get the best of us when you was there.
Always, bro.
Oh, not always. Not always. But being the Jersey guy.
We played the Thanksgiving game against Lakewood every year.
Y'all used to wear all white. I used to be hot. I used to hate it. I used to have the black pants, the blue jerseys. I was like, kill them. We lose, I'll be mad. No, but my 2 years, we didn't lose my 2 years I played there, we didn't lose. But
you played there as what? A freshman and sophomore?
Sophomore, junior.
And then went where?
St. Benedict's in Newark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when my dad deflated my football dreams, and he was like, you know what, basketball is going to be
I think you made a good call.
I mean...
I don't think you were winning an NBA title with LeBron playing football,
So I'm playing football, and hell no, I'll probably be somewhere with fucking CTE. God bless him. But the Jersey backgrounds, did you play in Jersey? Where did you play? How often did you play when you did? Or
yeah, I mean, growing up, I was very much a team sports person. Played baseball, soccer, played football as a senior in high school, and strange enough, I just got super into snowboarding, and it kind of took me out west and moved to Montana. lived in Montana for many years, and then my journey took me down to Salt Lake City, where I just snowboarded for about 6 years every day. And one year I had an injury and I was kind of struggling to snowboard. I had these super bad shin splints, and I literally went down to the range and rented clubs and started hitting balls at this place, Old Mill in Salt Lake City. And God, I just fell in love right away. And
Solo mission? You were by
solo
yourself?
mission, literally
Really?
solo. I remember the day. It was so crazy. I went down and I had this guy, Frank, who I knew from Tom's River, and he had this like club fitting company, and he fit me clubs. I went back to Jersey to pick him up, and I was at a driving range, and I saw a kid from high school, and he said, "Dude, you play golf now?" And I said, "Wow, I'm trying, you know." He said, "You got to come check this place out, Pine Barrens. You know, it just got built.
Yeah.
You know, I'll get you a job there." I said, "Fuck, I live in Salt Lake City." So I went there and met the GM, and he said, "I'll give you a job right now as the bartender." And I was like, "All right." Went back to Salt Lake and moved back to Jersey all summer. This was in 2000. So worked there all summer, played golf every single day, went back, snowboarded for another season, moved back in 2001, which was, I was there when 9/11 happened, actually. It was like this crazy memory of like Pine Barrens golf and 9/11, but played every day, tried my hardest to get good, like just fucking tried. And and then the next summer I stayed in Utah, but Utah golf's actually really fun. It's cheap, it's accessible, and
ball flies.
and had a group of these snowboard kids. And I remember that year I worked at a restaurant in Big Cottonwood Canyon and played golf every day, 50 days in a row. And then it was just on from there. And then, yeah.
So let me go back a little bit. How'd you go from Jersey to Montana? Like, was it the schools? You went to college and
I went to college, yeah. I was into snowboarding, into some Grateful Dead music. And
you said, all right, I'm out.
I just said, I took it. I was actually, funny enough, I applied to 3 schools. I applied to University of Oregon, Florida State, and University of Montana. And never been to Montana my whole life. I told my parents, they said, "What are you, nuts?" And I went out there with my mom and dad and got dropped off and never looked back. 30 years later, I'm still out west.
That's dope. Yeah. That's awesome. And, we're both, you're way more advanced at snowboarding than I
see you
am.
on the snowboard trips.
Yeah. Man, I love it, dude. I love it. You worked at Oakley for a long time.
Yeah, 20 years, yeah.
Yeah. And those trips, man, have been, for me, is like, I love camaraderie.
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of camaraderie.
Yep,
and snowboarding is all of that in one. At the same time, it's so much like golf because you have your pack, you got the guys you ride with, or you got your crew. But at the end of the day, it's all on you. It's all on your movements. It's always on your fluidity and stuff like that. So how does that, like, for you transition into your golf?
Yeah, I think like when you talk about swing tempo and you talk about how you look going down a mountain, it's somewhat similar in a way. Same thing as surfing, right? I do always say, I do love golf and I, would choose to golf over most. I'm not as good at surfing, so surfing's a tough one for me. But I mean, there's nothing like being on a mountain that you know very well and you're with your 5 best friends and you have powder. I mean, there's nothing like it. And it's addicting. I mean, that's why the word ski bum exists. That's what people want to do is ski and snowboard every single day. And that's all, Yeah. And those events you're talking about, I was a big part of those for many, many years, Oakley week. And we had, it was the best, some of the best weeks I've ever had, at Oakley.
But I don't want to downplay it because obviously you've been there for a long time, but you were part of the biggest deal, probably one of the bigger deals that a lot of people don't realize. Like even just the NFL as a whole. Like you don't have to go in too much detail, but like just give us a background on what you've done, in your time. Like I don't want you to toot your own horn, but toot that shit.
Oh man, Oakley was a crazy run. I owe a lot to Oakley. They gave me a pretty incredible platform. I did many things there that I look back on, and it's incredible. But that, my first job, I was a ski bum for 6 years, and I met a bunch of people at the Olympics. I owe this guy Dave Steiner. He's a legend, still living the best life of anybody I know. And he connected me, and I took a job, moved to South Carolina, spent a year there running around doing marketing and golfing, and moved to Oregon, moved to San Diego. And I got this really interesting break. This guy, Scott Bowers, he was the head of marketing, and I went and gave a presentation in New York City on technology, and he said, man, I want to bring that to the road. Have you ever lived in an RV? I said, no, bro. So,
That's a hell of a question from somebody who's looking for a job from.
So I ended up building these trucks called the Rolling Labs. There's these big, we got built 4 of them, 3 in the United States, 1 in Europe. And yeah, it was just, it was the start to like kind of getting my foot in the door with all these big events. Al and I, then did the Phoenix Open. Al, the legend he is, he did the first sponsorship of the 16th hole for $5,000. Oakley signed on the 16th hole before anybody thought it was cool. Golf wasn't the same 20 years ago, right? In the world that we currently live in with what's happening. And the logo of Oakley showed up in so many incredible moments on that 16th hole. But me personally was just a part of all these just incredible moments. And going back to one of the biggest, college football is such a big part of my growing up. And I loved Florida State, Miami, and these rivalries. And my first year at Oakley, the football shield was so big, and Sean Taylor and all these guys were rocking. And I brought my little brother, who was a Miami fan. I was a Florida State fan. And this guy, Ewing King, who's still at Oakley, he introduced me to a gentleman, David Delagal, who's the Florida State Seminole equipment manager. So I rolled down my first year at Oakley, 23 years ago. And I'm in the locker room. I'm down on the field. A college game day wasn't what it is today. It was sitting on the field. There's nobody watching,
Right.
And I'm sitting in the locker room, and I'm listening to him give a speech, Bobby Bowden. I walked out of the tunnel with Florida State. It was so mental. It was like crazy to think about. But the football shield was like the thing I remembered the most. I was like, holy cow, like Sean Taylor's got this orange visor on. So it's always been this intriguing thing. And this guy, Mike Sterner from Oakley, then took over college football, and it kind of like lost steam. Just the football shield wasn't, just, you get what I'm saying. It just, we weren't selling a ton, but it just wasn't like, I don't know. But it was always my goal, and Mike and I just worked hard, and I got this meeting with this guy Naneo from the NFL, and I said, I know this is impossible, and this probably isn't even my job at Oakley, but how much is the football shield? He was the senior VP of partnerships at the NFL. Great dude. And we worked on this thing for 2 years. I had a boss at the time who, I'll leave it at that. But he said, dude, don't talk to the NFL. It's not your job. We'll never do a deal like that. I said, okay. Then he ended up, leaving, and I had a bunch of really interesting supporters, and this guy Justin Andrews, who was the VP of President of North America, and we went to New York City. Him and I said, he came over from Australia, and I said, Justin, let's go talk about, if you're going to be in North America, let's go meet the North American sports. So we went to New York City, met with the NFL, MLB, Knicks, Yankees, and all in one day.
Damn.
And we walked out, and he said, NFL's it. And I said, really? You think we're going to get that done? He said, yeah, we are. And it was a really fun time, and came to fruition, signed a 4-year deal. They just re-upped a 7-year deal. It's just, it's incredible. The exposure was just through the roof. And, we signed Patrick Mahomes, Lamar, and Jalen Hurts, and Justin Fields. And just was cranking.
It's going nuts right now, man. Derwin James.
I mean, how could I forget my boy, bro?
That's my dog, man.
Aaron Jones, Trayvon Diggs. I mean, we had a fucking roster.
Yeah, man. It's really grown into something, like, 'cause being a part of the Oakley family now, it's like, it's really grown into something for me that hasn't been a part of it from the start, but to see it now, it's like very organic, and it's not fake. Like the love there, the way people talk to you, the way people respect you, and the way people consistently want your opinion and want to know what you're thinking and want to like more information on what you actually think, opposed to like, no, you think this, you think I think you're like this, I think you're like that, and like pushing you into a certain area. And it's like, you know, technology grows very rapidly. It literally changes so fast, and it's so quick to get on one thing to where it's like, okay, this is the new wave, or this is the new road. And a lot of companies trying to push you into the road or the wave of which they're traveling. And I feel like Oakley's always been a place to where they want to travel with you along your journey, opposed to just making it about them. And that says a lot to me about a brand.
Yeah, I think the number one thing at Oakley, you know, the whole time I was there was technology, you know, and you know, if you make the best product, people are going to come. And, you know, the patents and the, you know, everything they've created, the technology behind the football shield, the iridium coating. So, you know, the one thing I felt very confident about when going to talk to the NFL, that I was bringing them the best brand for the best product for the best moment, you know, and I knew that was the right play. And I think, you know, not that they didn't know about Oakley, but I think quickly after the deal was done, they really were like, you know, this is the fit. Like, you can't go do another visor brand, you know, it doesn't make sense, you know?
100%.
Yeah, and it looks cool, you know, it's, you know, the technology helps, you know, I think, the Prism technology, all of it's great, you know, and of course you look badass out there. You know?
I appreciate it, bro.
Whether you're a world-class athlete or a podcaster, we all understand the importance of mental and physical well-being and proper recovery for top-notch performance. That's why we're excited that Unified Healing is sponsoring this episode of the Par 3 podcast. What is the EE System? Unified Healing is a new and super innovative global network of wellness centers powered by Energy Enhancement System, or EE System. If you haven't heard of the EE System yet, you'll want to listen up. This technology promotes wellness, deep relaxation, purification, and rejuvenation. Whether you're in California or hundreds of other locations across the globe, access to a center is easy and affordable. Interested in experiencing the EE System technology for yourself? Go to unifiedhealing.com/par to learn more and find a center near you. That's UNIFYD healing.com/PAR. No material or testimonials on the Unified Healing website are intended to be viewed as medical advice or the substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or treatment, and before undertaking a new healthcare regime, including the EE System.
So bringing it back full circle, because we are at Augusta, like working with Oakley, obviously, you know, Al coming up with that 16th tee sponsorship concept. And then do you guys signing guys like a Bubba, Rory, and having these guys earlier, especially earlier on in their career before they become quote unquote superstars? And then, you know, obviously Rory goes to Nike or whatever, but like, what is it like working hands-on with athletes and that type of...
you know, and Al and I, you know, I wasn't in sports marketing back then, but I had a lot of influence in a sense of events and how we were doing things. And Al wanted Rory, you know, and you know, I was a big supporter with him, and we brought it to our then like CMO, senior vice president. And you know, Rory was young back then, you know, he was 20, he, you know, had a different look. And
100%.
We brought it in. We had this is a crazy story, and Al will back it 100%. We sat in the room with our head of marketing, our head of product, this guy Rafe Peck, and my head of marketing for North America, Pierre, and we pitched Rory, and there was a lot of pushback and this and that. It got like super heated. It was like a really, you know, interesting conversation, because like Oakley was so new in golf, so it was like, do we spend X amount of dollars? And I remember this, you know, the head of marketing, Pierre, stood up and said, you sign Rory, I'll put money behind it and we'll flex and blah, blah, blah. And we got permission, and, you know, we ended up giving him a 2-year deal. I mean, I remember the day Rory flew there and we did the signature. It was fun. You know, I look back at those photos. It's super interesting.
That's
and funny enough, that was the first, no, I had been to the Masters one other time, but that was my second time. And I came here with Al and Rory. That was April after we signed the deal. I forget the date. I can't even think back. But we walked every single hole for 2 days. Thursday, Friday, 36 holes with Rory. Watched every shot in Oakley, head to toe. It's like a proud moment like we have going on right now with Malbon and Jason Day. You know, it's the same concept. And Rory was in the lead. It was just incredible. And obviously he ended up not winning, but he ended up winning 3 majors.
Yeah.
And obviously Nike kind of took him and offered him quite a bit of cash. But just a super fun time at Oakley watching that. And that kind of set the, we had to go out and get a superstar after Rory, and we thought Bubba was the right guy, and he was. Bubba was phenomenal. He was with us for 7, 8, and he won the Masters with us as well. And
then he went back to back.
He won with Travis Matthews the first year, and then he won with Oakley. But we had, Keegan Bradley, Al he won the PGA Championship. We had Zach Johnson. We had, Al had the stroke of luck for a minute. He was busting out.
That's dope, man. That is awesome because it comes for me. It all comes to fruition and it comes full circle because this is what your 14th Masters,
13th Masters,
13th Masters. To think about your second Masters when you got again, a guy like Rory, and you watch every shot, and then you see a guy like position you're now, a different company, similar situation. But a guy's breaking the internet. He's it's just broken.
It's broken.
It's broken. My boy broke it, which I love, by the way. I love it. But talk about how it comes full circle and just being here, let's say 12 years ago. Yeah. And then now being here now, and what does it feel like? How is it?
Yeah, it's incredible. It's when Stephen came to me, last year and said, "Is Jason Day the guy?" I think there was multiple reasons why he was the guy, and we knew he was already at the, he had been at the top of his game, number 1 in the world, and we knew the position Malbon was in is he was established. We didn't have to build something with him. So how do we show up to the golf audience with somebody who everybody knows and loves? And we launched on January 2nd in 2024 and kind of broke the internet that day. It was just an insane amount of impressions. But, I think coming into this, Stephen, we intentionally scripted him in product that we knew was coming out. Going back to Oakley days and Nike days, scripting is very important. Dick's
100%.
Sporting Goods and all these brands, they want to know what the athlete's wearing because they want to know where to go buy it. And I think, the intention of what we did, not knowing we were going to hit the lottery, we got out of the Masters on Tuesday and our phones blew up and Jason Day's playing with Tiger Woods. And I said, there we go.
There we go.
That's all you needed.
That's it.
It's gone.
That's all the ammo you
It's
needed.
over.
Now you got to do is shoot the
I
bullet.
said the pants the first day and the vest the second day. It's over.
To day 3 to be continued.
We're gonna pull it back a little bit.
You go pull it back. I'll scale it back.
Yeah, we gotta make people feel good.
No, I hear that. So in fashion and in so many different areas, because obviously we all tend to ruffle feathers, but it's not necessarily intentionally in a bad way, but it also is intentionally because I'm expressing myself and I want to be able to express myself in a certain type of way without feeling like I have to apologize for it. Yeah. Being, in the industry, in the design business, how do you come up with a certain aspect to where it's cool, but it's not over the top, I guess?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to walk that line a lot coming up. It's how do you keep pushing the boundaries? You don't want to insult people and you don't want to make people feel uncomfortable, but you also have to stand out.
Right.
There's so many other brands out there doing lots of great stuff, and they're for different consumers. And so I think we found a consumer that's very loyal to us. And it's kind of, I always say, when people ask about Malbon, I always say it's not technology, it's not product, it's a mindset. It's truly how do you feel when you show up? How do you feel when you're with your friends? How do you feel when you want to play golf? And if you're dressing the way you don't want to dress, you don't feel right. So I think the mindset incorporates I think what Stephen's all about, which is music and art and culture and bringing that to the course. It's not necessarily saying we want to make the craziest clothes. It's like, you know, it's truly like, you know, it's a cultural mindset. You know, you can like rap music and still like golf. You can, you know, be a painter and still dress a little outside the norm and not, you know, wear khakis and a belt and a pink shirt, you know.
You can show the tee box tatted all the way up to your neck.
You know, listen, you know? I've always worn baggy clothes, and I have pictures of me playing with like Ken Griffey and Sheffield back in the day where I had shorts down to my, you know, I mean, I you know, so for me, you know, looking at Jason, he just doesn't look abnormal to me. You know, it looks very normal to what I'm used to in my cultural life and who 100%. I spend time with, you know. I always thought it was weird, you know. I finally got a little bit tighter with my pants, and then I came over to Malbon, I got a little looser again, you know?
It's funny because I agree with what you said. Like, to me, like, watching him play, it doesn't seem abnormal. Like, it's like playing golf with Malto. Like, it's not like...
It's not,
It's nothing...
Those are the people like, you culturally surround yourself with.
100%. Opposed to just the guy in regular Dockers and wingtip shoes, which is no problem with. That's what you like. But for me, I got a problem when it's like, okay, this is offensive. Like, by my clothes? It's not like I'm saying fuck you on my shirt.
Yeah.
Like, fuck the Masters. It's like, I mean, I'm not saying that.
And if you look back historically, I mean, nobody cared when John Daly wore loudmouth pants and, you know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? There were so 100%. Many offensive, you know, awful outfits in the history of golf, and some were classy and baggy. Like, you look at Tiger and Jordan and their photos back in the day. I mean, their shit was baggy.
Baggy and trash.
Way baggier.
Baggy and trash.
Yeah, and
with a big bag of trash.
And with pleats and small belts.
Oh man, with creases and big bag of trash. Big bag.
So I mean, I think what we put Jason in yesterday, I mean, it had a little netted pocket, but ultimately it was not far off from a jogger. It was a nylon pant, had performance. It was a little bit on the baggier side, but the sweater had a big graphic, but the sweater is a beautiful sweater. If you take the graphic off, it's a beautiful
100%
cotton twill sweater with, you know, vest. I mean, it's like, you know, I don't know. I guess the graphic was offensive, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to. I think it's going to be hard not to ruffle too many feathers at Augusta when it's outside the norm.
For sure.
Everything is so norm.
It wasn't meant to be disruptive, you know. No. It was like, I mean, that's, you know.
100%. 100%. That's where I feel like it's understandable if you're. To me, it's way more understandable if you're not trying to be disruptive. Like, I don't believe, you know, you guys at Malbon Stephen is like coming up with stuff to be disruptive because he's a very confrontational person. He loves if you go to the certain spot, he would love to wear wingtip shoes and pleated pants.
Steven's the most stylish guy in the course.
100%. So for me, it's like I don't like the negative backlash behind it. It's just like, oh, you're just trying to make a statement. No, it's not trying to make a statement. It's just what he likes.
Yep.
It's not necessarily always about trying to be on Front Street. It's just I just want to be on the street. Not even the back street, front street, side street. I just want to be on the street. Like, seriously. And I love that.
I mean, it's, you know, listen, it's hard to be in the conversation. There's so many great brands out there doing great stuff. And I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm sure other brands are sitting there like, wow, like.
I'm telling you, man. I know so many designers went into their office today like, no, fuck this. I should have came out with this. I told y'all made me ball this shit up, throw it away. We could have used this. We could have sold millions of shirts. But it worked out the way it's supposed to, and I'm really happy that it did because I know Jason, and I know you guys do on a personal level, and he's a really good dude, and it's not back to cause any harm. It's just to be different than the next person he's teaming it up with. And, you know, if certain people find that offensive or abrasive, then that's just something they have to live with because it's not like he's not going out there doing anything wrong to me. You know, it's not like
he's the greatest guy ever.
Yeah.
I mean, he's amazing.
He's a great dad. He's a great husband. Mm-hmm. It's not like he's out there harming women and kids. He's wearing a baggy pants and a vest. Like, I don't understand it. But
People care.
100%.
It's tournament and major season in the world of golf, and we at Par 3 Podcast are locked in on Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your golf knowledge into serious cash. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Prize Picks is really simple to play. You can make picks and submit your entry in less than 30 seconds. Prize Picks now offers Apple Pay for quick and easy deposits. Par 3 Podcast has cashed out on Prize Picks before, and they'll do it again. Download the app today and use code PAR3 for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code PAR3 for a first deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less, it's easy. Par 3 and Prize Picks are coming for the top of the golf leaderboard together. Our picks get paid. PrizePicks.com/par3.
If you had your ideal pick for the plan of, let's just say, Malbon Golf and Masters for you, number 14, what's your play? Just in general, you can pick whatever. You can have because we've been being here. This is my first time here for extended period of time. First time I came here, I was here for a day, and I didn't know people had houses and certain events at nights and stuff like that. So like, if you could pick. Well, you know what? No, I'm going to take that back because I don't want y'all to be stealing my boy creative ideas and then y'all go use this shit next year and we see y'all over here at the house because I'm pulling up and letting y'all know y'all stole my boy Ryan ideas. So fuck that. Nah, I'm not. I don't even want y'all to save that. We're going to save that.
We have said, listen, there's no way that Stephen and I were here all week and don't have some ideas.
Oh.
So there's some really good stuff in the hopper. There's a handful of things, and it might break the internet again.
I like that. And on that note, we out of here from Augusta, J.R. Smith. This is my guy, Ryan Evert. Jersey boys, Jersey strong. We out of here.